Eh,
Eh. How's it
going?
going? Oh no.
that wasn't planned. We didn't plan to say that at the same time.
Well, it was planned,
Well,
sadly,
Yeah.
but the part where we just did that at the same time in the same voice was not planned.
the same voice was planned, but not the same time.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey,
Hey. What's
Uh,
up?
I guess we can say now.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome to the Moonflower Show.
Yeah, we named it.
We did. I guess for context, last time we recorded this, it was kind of just like an idea we had, and we didn't even know if we were going to continue it, if we were ever going to share it anywhere, if it was just going to be like a one-time thing. But we were pretty proud of the first episode.
Yeah.
We've listened to it a couple times since and enjoyed listening back to it, and we decided to make more, and we decided to make it into a quote-unquote real thing.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to do this every other week, and by try to do it, like we're gonna do it unless something bad happens.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
Yeah. So,
Welcome.
the Moonflower Show. Let's talk about why we decided that name.
Well, here's the story. I was like, what's two things that represent us? And Colin said, I'm represented by the ocean. Then I said, I'm represented by a sunflower. And we said, how about sunflower ocean? Or ocean sunflower. And then we said, wait a second, that's not good. But then Colin suggested moonflower.
Well, there was a couple steps in between that.
Were there?
I was thinking Stargazers, or like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Stargazer
yeah, yeah.
show, because I thought that sounded cool.
Yeah, we were thinking Stargazer before we had this non-idea of oh, let's just pick two words that represent each of us and just smash them together like
Yeah.
some kind of mutant.
Yeah. But that name was already taken. On Spotify.
Well, the thing is, not only is it taken, but there's 146 different podcasts that have the word Stargazer in them.
Yeah, but not really any that are called the Moonflower or the Moonflower Show.
And actually, there's a song by one of my favorite bands called Moonflower.
Did you tell me that?
I think I did in the moment, but I didn't make a thing out of it, so you might not have heard me.
Gotcha. Well, welcome to the Moonflower Show. We hope you enjoy.
Oh, it's called the Moonflower Show also because we think about things and ask questions. A little moonflower. A moonflower is a flower that opens up only at night, and it's like a category of flower. It's not just one kind of flower. Like a moonflower is any flower that opens at night, and we were thinking of how we like to look up at the stars and think about life and the big questions, and we just thought it was really fitting.
Yeah. Well, two little flowers blooming at night.
Yeah, and you guys are moonflowers.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, you're a moonflower.
Absolutely. We're all moonflowers. So, shall we get... Do you want to give me life updates, or should we get right into it?
I don't even know what there is to update about my life.
It's been a couple months since we last recorded. This idea's been in the works for a while. We're putting a couple things together. We're soon to be on Spotify and YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not really a life update. That's a this thing update. If you're listening to this, it's probably on Spotify or YouTube already.
Yes, unless you are one of the
lucky few
that we may or may not send this to before that happens. But
one of the lucky few with exclusive Google Drive link.
You get to listen to our voices before anyone else does. Aren't we great? But yeah, it's been a couple months. It's been a weird and wacky summer.
Wow.
What?
I'm so sorry. You just pulled something out of the depths of my childhood brain. In the 4th grade, we did a play about climate change called Wild and Wacky Winter. And the main song in it goes, "It was a wild and wacky winter. The strangest things were happening everywhere." I'm so sorry. Continue.
Are you a wild and wacky winter?
Oh, I can't say that I'm not.
Well.
Oh, is this going to be the first episode that we upload in some places?
No.
Should we say hello?
No, I think I would like to upload the first one too.
Okay.
I think the first one's really good introduction.
Great.
So yeah, if this is the second one and you listened to the first one already, you may have been a little bit confused. But yeah, we are just now trying to make this a regular thing and trying to go further with it. So enjoy this episode. Enjoy probably many more to come.
Yeah. Were you gonna go anywhere with it being a wild and wacky summer?
No, I just mean not all too much has actually happened since then. We've been camping a couple times.
Yeah.
And we've been working.
Yeah.
It's like it.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of things have happened for me.
True, yeah. That's up to you whether you want to talk about that here.
Well, I'm trying to start a side hustle, and by trying to start a side hustle, I mean I've started the side hustle, and now I'm putting more energy into it. And it's great. And maybe I'll do a shameless plug some other time. Maybe.
We have things in development.
Yeah. Oh, I adopted a cat.
Yes.
Which is going to make recording this harder.
Yes, we're at my place right now, but we'll probably be recording the majority of episodes at Winter's place. And Rose, the cat, might make a guest appearance.
Maybe.
She's here in spirit. Meow.
Yeah.
Meow.
Yeah.
That's what she sounds like.
It's true. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So before we're gonna do a couple we're gonna ask each other a couple questions like we did last time. That may not be the format of every episode we do. Just because we don't know yet. We don't want to. If we want to commit to that model or we want to do something else with every episode, but it's what works, and it worked last time, and it was fun, so we're going to do it again. But before we do that, I had a little follow-up on something we talked about last time, and I told you that I had a follow-up, but I've been saving it for months, because I wanted to talk about it on the second episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
So, last episode, one of the questions we asked each other was, why do you think the cadence of people talking on podcasts is so soothing?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that for a little while. We mentioned that it was kind of just like being in the room with people having a pleasant conversation. And that's part of it, I think. But I learned something not too long after we recorded the first episode, because I was watching the Game Grumps, who we also talked about last episode. And since recording last episode, they uploaded their first remote session, because they usually record with the two of them in person. But they uploaded their first remote session where they were playing games over a distance. And they had an audio setup much like a podcast. And Danny, one of the Game Grumps, mentioned that he has always liked podcasts because the cadence of people's voice in them are very soothing. And Aaron replied, that's because podcast recorders usually wear headsets. and they have the audio playing back to them as they're recording. So they're talking and hearing themselves. So I think it's because people talk the way that they would like to hear someone else speak. And that's just like, it's like very soothing because of that.
Interesting take. I would be willing to say that that's definitely part of it. But I also think that well, I don't know. I mean, I think a couple people told me that when they listened to the first episode, they found it soothing, and we don't have headsets.
Yeah. And I don't think that's how every podcast is, because we're just talking into a mic, or singular mic. But I think that's kind of like why podcasts in general tend to sound like that.
Yeah.
I think we kind of do it because
we're so cool.
Yeah, just because we're awesome people, and we're great to talk to, and we're just awesome. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing that I learned right after we not too long after we recorded the first episode. Also, this is the second
it's canon
time
it's canon
This is the second
really
time you've
canon.
belched live.
I should probably stop doing that, but I should probably also not stop doing that.
Yeah, don't stop. Listen, it's our podcast. We do whatever the hell we want.
I make the rules. We make the rules.
Yeah,
You make some rules, yeah. You can make some. Well, now that we've been talking for 12 minutes, let's ask each other some questions.
Yeah. So, the first, or I guess we should say that we've kind of chosen a little theme for tonight. We have our questions tonight kind of centered around mental health, because that's important to talk about. And I think that we have some things to say about that.
Hell yeah. I have a lot to say about it.
Yeah. So, our first question to each other is, what is your number one mental health tip?
I think my number one mental health tip is going to be surprisingly simple, but also something that I think most people would have a counterpoint to, that I think is actually usually not helpful. So my number one mental health tip is, if something feels generally good, keep doing that and find ways to integrate that into your life routinely. And if something feels bad, stop and find ways to eliminate that from your life as much as possible.
Yeah.
As much as you can. And I think some people would say, well, some things feel good and I still shouldn't do them. What about food? What if somebody really, really loves food? I love food, to the point where I just love sitting down and having a huge meal, and eating junk food sometimes, and that's such a source of joy for me. But obviously that's not great to do every single day. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's well, if somebody's gonna say, you shouldn't have this thing that you enjoy and that does bring you joy and makes you happy. It's well, you should find a way to integrate it into your life sustainably. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you love food, hell yeah. Find a way to eat big meals, and find a way to center your day around food and have that ground you. And find delicious, healthy food that you love. And if there are foods that aren't necessarily the healthiest but that still bring you joy, then integrate those in your life too, and if they don't make you feel good, then stop eating them. And I know that's easier said than done, and food is not the only thing that this can be applied to, but I really think it's if something makes you feel good, keep doing it routinely, figure out how to integrate it into your routine. If something feels bad, stop doing it. and figure out how to eliminate it as much as possible. Those things are definitely easier said than done, like I said, but I think that's my number one mental health tip.
Yeah, it's like, it sounds obvious, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that most people do that. I struggle with it.
Yeah, and it's like something, and like you said, do things that make you feel good. If something makes you feel bad, don't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just fall into these, like, habits of doing things that don't make us feel very good.
Yeah.
And we just kind of take it for granted. It's just like, oh, this is the way things have to be. Just subconsciously we think of that, and it doesn't. You don't have to do the things that are making you feel bad.
And I think that this is true even for things that you think that you should be doing that end up making you feel bad. Like, if you... Okay, exercise is great. And if you have a way to exercise, 100%, like, very recommend. 10 out of 10, exercise is great. But if your idea of, like, oh, in order to be, like, mentally healthy and, like, physically healthy, like, I have to go to the gym 3 times a week for an hour and, like, do cardio and weightlifting, and you hate the gym, stop going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many different ways to think about how to do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, exercise is good, but there's like a million ways to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Food, depending on what you're eating, can be like great or maybe an area to improve, but like there's a million different ways to approach it. And like I think that when we talk about mental health, it's really easy to get like locked into one way of thinking about it and like one image of like what a mentally healthy person looks like. And that's just not gonna work for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like...
So, like, I don't mean to interrupt, but, like, I think overall, like, I would say, like, even if you think that the thing that you're doing is a part of, like, an ideally mentally and physically healthy person and it's making you miserable, still stop.
Yeah, happiness looks different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, your happiness... Your happy... Your life doesn't need to look like somebody else's life just because that person is happy, because different things make different people happy.
Yeah.
And different things work for different people.
What were you gonna say?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great minds think alike. We got 2 great minds over here.
Not just tooting our own horns over
tooting
here.
Our own toots.
Yeah. Hey.
Dude, you look cute.
Oh, ladies, what's good?
And shout out to all our non-binary friends out there as well.
Yeah.
You are a spiritual gift.
You look huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's good?
Yeah. Mine was my number one mental health tip. It's pretty similar to that, I think. I think if I had gone first, I might have phrased it very similarly to you did, that you did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that finding things to enjoy is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. And if you are finding that you are not enjoying a lot of things, then you should try new things, you know? Like, explore the world, because it has so much to offer. And it can sometimes seem like we're so limited in what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much you can just do and explore that is relatively easy to access.
Yeah.
Like, you can go places, there's so much to read, so much to do, to play, to watch, to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So many, like, if you look around, there's probably, like, a club or something for something that you're interested in. If you're vaguely interested in something, you're like, I've always wanted to try this, you should, like, 100% go out and try that at, like, whenever you can. Because we're meant to we're meant to explore and experience novel things and just learn. Like, learning about things that you enjoy is one of the best feelings, and I think a lot of the a lot of the reasons that a lot of the people that at least I know are sad is because they kind of feel stuck, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, go on.
No, I mean,
I think so. I was just gonna say, like, it's so easy to feel stuck.
yeah,
You know,
it is.
like,
And
even when,
I
like,
feel stuck all the
yeah,
time.
and I consider myself to be, you know, not to toot my own toot, but I mean, by many standard measures, like, I am a successful human being.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person who, if I think of something and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it, I go and I do it, or I make a plan to do it, and I get it done, or I start working on it. And maybe it's not the best thing, or not something that I want to be working on, and so I'll stop. But, like, if I commit to something, I follow through on it. And, like, that's the definition of being, like, a dynamic person who isn't stuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But even then, even knowing that, like, I'm the kind of person who is so willing to change and so willing to, like, try new things, and, like, that I will follow through, you know, that I trust myself to, like, follow through, I still sometimes feel stuck.
Yep.
And, like, what you were talking about,
It happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody, like, even people who, like, literally aren't stuck, and it's whack.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not. I mean, I always think it's so hard mental health wise to, like, balance this you know, feeling of being stuck, and, like, validating that, because sometimes there's circumstances that really, you know, they're just awful, and, like, you know, systemic oppression, or being in a relationship that isn't ideal, like, those are, like, real situations, and, like,
Or being stuck inside all day because of
because of
pandemic.
quarantine, like, those are real, you know, and
Yeah.
I get really tired when people act like it's one or the other, you know what I mean? It's like, either all these real things are real, or we're, like, totally in control of our lives, and, like, we can do anything, and, like, all this stuff. Like, I don't like that. I think it's so important to have a balanced approach, and, like, I do think that ultimately, you know, we're not stuck.
Oh, yeah.
We're never totally stuck.
Yes.
I have to believe that. If for no other reason than, like, it's really good for our brains to not believe that we're ever totally stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, as a side note, binary thinking is stupid and don't do it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Maybe that, we have so many mental health tips.
Yeah.
Binary thinking is really stupid. And, like, I feel like people would tell me this when I was growing up, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, oh, yeah, binary thinking is stupid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But then I would be like, ugh, I'm always tired, and, like, I'm always sad, and, like, I'm never gonna be able to do this thing that I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's binary thinking. And it took, like, a literal professional to sit down with me and be like, hey, maybe not always.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not never. Maybe sometimes. You know?
Yeah. that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. Yeah. Also, another mental health thing.
We could just do a whole podcast on mental health tips.
Yes. I mean, I guess people say this a lot, but I strongly believe that literally everybody can benefit from talking to a therapist or a professional about your feelings.
Agree.
Because,
Yep.
you know, that's something that is very important to do if you want to be a happy, healthy person. And professional is the best person to talk to that about, because they're a professional.
Yes.
Obviously, talking to your friends, that's great, and you should do that too, and that's super important. But maybe your friends may not always know how to respond to the things that you tell them.
Yeah.
And it's no fault of theirs. That they just don't have the experience or the know-how.
Yeah.
To help you out with that.
Yeah. I have found that, like, a rule of thumb for, like, when something is a conversation for your friend versus a conversation for your therapist is friends are great for like in the moment stuff where it's like I need to calm down, I need somebody to just be here with me and like hold my hand.
Yes.
I'm feeling super awful right now and like I just need somebody to be here with me.
Yeah.
And ride out this like emotional wave.
Yes.
Like with me. That's what friends are for. And like that can be like kind of an ongoing situation too, like if you're going through a breakup or like maybe you're just having a rough time in general, like to have friends who can support you repeatedly through like similar emotional waves. Like that's good. That's what friends are for. A therapist is for figuring out why the waves are happening and like
what to do with them.
What to do
with
them.
Where to go next.
Where to go next, like how to like deal with those waves on like a more root level. Yeah, I have so many opinions about like also leaning on your friends for like mental health stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I think it can be really tricky. Complicated. Yeah.
It's certainly tricky.
Maybe we can talk about this for like another minute, and then we can move on to the next question. Yeah. And if you want to hear more about mental health stuff from us, maybe we can do another episode or maybe a couple more episodes because it sounds like we have a lot to say about this.
I mean, we were going to talk about this at the end of the podcast, but we were also going to set something up to where if you guys wanted us to talk about anything specific, or if you guys enjoyed us talking about any particular topic, you can just let us know, and then we'll take that into consideration and be like, we should talk about
we're huge John Mulaney fans, if it wasn't obvious.
Oh my god. We will probably hear a myriad of John Mulaney quotes as this podcast goes on.
We will probably never be able to be monetized or sponsored because of the sheer quantity of John Mulaney quotes.
Hopefully, John Mulaney will not press charges against us.
John Mulaney, if you're out there, first of all, love your work.
I know both of your parents are lawyers, and they're probably great lawyers, so please don't come after us. But yeah, love your work. You're cool.
Anywho, if you do want to hear about anything specific, shoot us an email. We'll put the email in our description when we figure out what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do the next question.
Next question.
Coming right up, folks. Oh.
What's something good to watch or listen to when you're sad?
Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Bee and Puppy Cat?
Wait.
Are we going to dive in?
I think we should talk a little bit about why.
I don't think there is any need for any explanation whatsoever.
Maybe some of our lovely moonflowers haven't watched Steven Universe.
Okay, hold the phone. If any of you moonflowers out there...
You're not a real moonflower!
Oh my gosh, that's not what I'm going to say.
I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. I will never gatekeep who's a real moonflower.
Never, ever.
Never. If you're listening, you're a moonflower, and you're part of our little world, okay?
Yeah.
Welcome. Anyway, if you haven't seen Steven Universe... I just recommend it. Like, I don't know what else there is to say. It's a beautiful show. It, like, just artistically. Like, it's just beautiful. It's like looking at a piece of art, even barring the fact that it's a show with a beautiful and dynamic plot line and interesting characters that are diverse and, like, you know, I feel like as, like, a queer person, I've been able to like see myself in that show, and maybe they're pandering. I don't know. I don't really care.
I don't know. I think it's a very important show, even for like a cis straight person to watch, just to have the perspective, because it has when I saw that show, like when it was coming out. I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, I must have been like 13 or something, right? And I wasn't too interested in the first couple episodes, and I didn't continue to watch it. But I was this year, earlier this year, right? Well, went and watched through the whole thing.
Yeah.
That show has such a really unique and wonderful depiction of the human condition.
Yes.
And it like it says so much. It like puts complicated feelings into simple terms, which is something that when art or media is able to do that, it's really great, and it takes a lot of I feel like it takes talent to do that.
Agree. And I think that's something that's really important for kids
Mm-hmm.
and adults.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, because you don't always want to like mull over. You don't want to spend a bunch of time thinking about it because you got to think about a million other things as an adult. Sometimes you just want something in super simple terms, something easy to digest. Mm-hmm. It's a very easy show to watch.
Even in like the tense moments of the show, which there are definitely, there's drama.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, it's not like a stressful show to watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Not stress. It can be sad at times, but never stressful, I would say.
And there's always resolution, like, relatively quickly. Like,
yeah.
And, like, I mean, there's, like, some overarching, like, plot lines, and it gets a little dark at some points, but, like, it never really gets to the point where it's, like, this is unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really good answer, I think.
What else is good to watch?
Oh, my goodness. I gotta think.
Well, something else I think I've liked for the same reasons that I wish more of it would come out is Bee and Puppy Cat.
Yeah.
It's just another really beautiful show that's, like, easy to follow and, like, it just always relaxes me. It's, like, my go-to if I need something short to watch and just calm down.
Yeah.
If you're feeling sad, comedy, John Mulaney. If you're feeling sad, watch John Mulaney.
Yeah, that man is very funny, and he puts a lot of like very tragic and very like just like weird out there stuff and just like makes it really funny stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like that man's been through a lot.
Yeah.
But he tells it to you in a very, very funny and humorous way.
Yeah.
Makes you smile and laugh.
Yeah. I don't ever get tired of his stuff.
Yeah, no. We rewatched that stuff so many times.
Who are some other good people to listen to?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of...
What about music?
Music. That's what I'm trying to think of. When I'm sad, I actually have... Well, I had I was trying to make a playlist of songs.
Is it the one called Crying?
Yes, I had... Well, I won't go into my Spotify playlist library, but I didn't ever had too many songs to it. I like to listen a lot of the times when I'm sad to like some of my favorite bands, which are like alternative rock bands.
Yeah.
Because that has a lot of like emotion and tragedy in it, like Muse, like. That's something. Muse has been my favorite band ever since I started listening to music. They were the first band I saw in concert. They just like were the band that got me into music, basically. And not only is it like a very familiar and comforting thing for me, but their music like talks about a lot of like. Another like I like artists and media that will describe emotion in like novel ways, you know, like you use like very unique metaphors. Like I love poetry that does that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of their music is like poetry in that way. But they will talk about like, you know, like the mind being a galaxy or something like that, and it just gives you things to think about and like kind of pass the time where you have this sort of somber energy within you. It's like a redirection of that energy. I like Muse. I like Radiohead. Nothing But Thieves. All really good.
Yeah. I feel like those are all good bands.
Mm-hmm.
When I listen to music when I'm sad, I'm either trying to do one of two things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either trying to get myself to cry, to, like, process it and, like, let it out, or I'm trying to get myself, not to stop being sad, but to have enough energy to get, like, everything done that I need to get done that day, despite being sad. So I usually either go for, like, Daughter, or, like, the Indigo Girls, or, like, just something that's, like, super nostalgic for me.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes me sad that time passes.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that just gets me. That's, like, a very specific emotion, but that, like, will always make me cry, is, like, remembering that time is passing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I will listen to, like, very upbeat, like, EDM, or, like, Nightcore. There, I said it. I am out as a Nightcore listener. Make fun of me all you want, but it gets my chores done.
The first time you told me that you listened to Nightcore, I was a little worried.
Okay, but tell them what you learned.
Yeah, no. I learned that not all Nightcore
Hashtag not all Nightcore
is garbage, alright? Because I knew, as a young internet user, I knew Nightcore to be just horribly uptuned remixes of songs that I already knew that were never, like, I wouldn't even like listening to them, let alone wanting to hear them over the original song. But no, some of the remixes that you've shown me are actually really great, very enjoyable.
Yeah, I only listen to good Nightcore, but I do listen to Nightcore.
I will vouch. Any of you non-believers out there,
if anybody wants to see my my proof, I'll share a playlist.
Your curated Nightcore playlist?
Yeah, my curated Nightcore playlist. Yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon. Gain access to my curated Nightcore playlist.
For when you're sad but you need to do chores.
Wow. That's content.
That's nuance right there.
We don't have a Patreon, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But maybe we will someday.
Maybe we will.
And maybe.
Just maybe. We will put the Winter's curated Nightcore playlist on such a Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else for when our moonflowers are sad?
I think there's definitely more that I'll think of, but I'm not thinking about anything else right now.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I mean, it's also like, it's very in the moment for me when I'm sad. Like, it's like, I can't think of anything that I would listen to if I was sad right now, because I'm not sad. I'm in a pretty good mood right now.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh yeah, let's keep this sadness going right now.
Yeah. But I think if I was sad, I would be like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I usually do it.
I would probably just want to eat like a large bowl of mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of my favorite YouTubers, I was watching her content today, Harmony Nice. Shout out if you're out there, love your work. She was like making mac and cheese with, I think, chicken nuggets in it, but it was vegan. And I was like, what I would give for a mac and cheese dish with just some nuggets in there. And she kept saying it was disgusting, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking
disgusting.
about. Well, because it's not very good for you. It's like comfort food.
But she enjoyed it.
But yeah, seemed like she had a very nice time. I had a nice time watching her make it.
Yeah. There's a difference between disgusting and unhealthy.
True.
I would never, ever dare call mac and cheese disgusting.
Would you call a garbage plate disgusting?
Maybe.
See, I think that was the energy.
I see.
There was some other stuff in there too.
I see.
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Garbage plates though.
Never actually really had one.
They're quite good. I really want to make like a vegan garbage plate. I'm not vegan. For those listeners out there who might dare to assume.
How dare you?
We can talk about my complicated... We can spend an entire 60 minutes talking about the food that I eat and don't eat. Let us know if you're interested. Anyway, next question.
The next episode's just gonna be winter. Just like,
So I do eat this, and I actually don't eat that one.
just going down the line of all the existing foods.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I'm so sorry how, like, derailed this podcast is this evening.
Wait
like,
a minute.
It is...
But that's exactly how the last one was. And
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's just whatever we want to talk about, you know? Whatever is in the moment. We're doing it.
True.
And that's what makes it entertaining, because it's what we want to talk about. I think I definitely enjoy listening to people talk about things that they enjoy.
Yeah.
You know? That makes me happy.
Yeah, why don't we just make a 4-hour podcast? What if we do, like, a podcast special where it's 4 hours of us just talking about nothing? Would that be good for you, audience?
I don't know if it would
Would
be
that
good for
do
me.
it? I think I would feel unwell.
I don't know if I could sit down in this chair in front of this microphone for 4 hours.
What about, like, a walking podcast? A wadcast?
Moving on. Wadcast. Gotta write that down. I was gonna ask the next question, if that's okay with you.
It is okay with me.
My
Please
dear.
go for it. Yeah.
What do you do to try to get yourself into a flow state, and how effective is it?
Good question. I came up with this question, and I actually don't know how to get myself into a flow state. So, answer to the second part of that, never effective. Do you want to answer this one first, so I can think about it?
Sure. So, there have been many a time where I have done that wonderful thing where I need to complete some sort of assignment,
Mm-hmm.
and I have squandered most of the allotted time to do such an assignment, doing other unrelated things to the assignment. Some of you may know this phenomenon as procrastination.
Never heard of it.
I don't know her. And then I have to just mega focus, just get it done, crunch time, and I need to get myself into a flow state. Well, there are things that I will do, and I'll be in a flow state because I want to be, you know, like that'll happen when I'm gaming or something, or reading, or some other thing. But if I need to manually get myself into a flow state, it usually needs to be like a nighttime. Like, I find myself most productive at like the late nighttime. Sometimes I can do it in the midday.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to get everything else that I would need to possibly do for the day done. I need to have no other obligations. I need to shut myself away from the world, lock my doors, make sure the room's a comfortable temperature, just put everything away, and then I'll put on some lo-fi or something. I will I'll put on lo-fi, and yeah, I'm the kind of person that just needs to have all distractions eliminated before I can get into a flow state. But then from there it's usually pretty simple. I just really need to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take breaks occasionally, but not too long, because the longer the break is, the more likely I am to lose the flow state.
Yeah.
I'm a sprinter.
Yeah.
I need to stay on track, and I like to get work done in large bursts.
Yeah, I feel that.
Unless like it's to the point where I'm like going crazy, then I'll take a break.
Yeah.
But not
Oh
too
my
long of a break.
gosh. You're describing how I like wrote my thesis
Yeah.
when I was in
And
undergrad.
I'm pretty sure this is pretty similar to how a lot of people do things.
Yeah,
But,
well, I'm not usually a huge procrastinator. I went for like okay. When I was like a little kid, I was like a chaos demon. Like I would just like run around. I would like enter a room and like poof, like magically, like everything was like out of place and like I like my shoes were like missing and like somehow they like got outside. Like I don't know.
oh my god.
And then like something snapped when I turned like 13 or 14, and I stopped being as chaotic, and I got very good at like just getting my work done, and not procrastinating. Like in high school, like throughout high school, and then into my first couple years of college, I was like very very good at not procrastinating because I would like divide up the work. I would be like, okay, I have this many pages of reading, and I have like 3 days to do it. It's 60 pages. I'll do 20 pages each day. And then I will be like, you have to get these 20 pages done today, or you'll die. Fear-based productivity. Can't recommend.
Probably not sustainable.
Not
for your
sustainable.
brain.
I got very burnt out, but for a long time, I didn't procrastinate. And I think that was a good thing, because procrastination is very stressful. Like, I got into procrastination a little late into my college career, and let me tell you, it's a powerful drug.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like once you procrastinate and you realize that it's like, oh, I can still get it done,
Yeah.
it's like, well, why wouldn't I do this?
Yeah, it's oh man.
And now I have a much harder time not procrastinating since having, like, procrastinated on, like, a few major projects, like, towards the end of my undergrad. Like, when I was writing my thesis, it was, like, 2 weeks of, like, waking up at, like, 11 a.m., being like, oh, I'm just gonna make like a nice little brunch, like I'm just gonna make a toast, and then like it's suddenly 4 p.m. and it's like, oh god.
Oh, I hate it.
And then you procrastinate for a couple more hours, and you're kind of like, okay, and then it hits 7 p.m. and it's like, okay, like I'm like typing and I'm like, you know, in the flow state, and I'm like, why is this happening now? And then I would work until like 4 a.m., go to sleep, like somehow like make my way over to like Chipotle or something, and like not remember eating a burrito, but like. And I did this for like 2 weeks, and I got it done. So that is like what you're describing. Yeah.
You've just described.
Yeah, exactly.
My exact method.
I actually think that usually for me, I don't think that I actively try to get myself into a flow state anymore as much, because first of all, for me a flow state is usually unreliable. Like, I can't seem to get myself to do it. Like, I can't make myself enter a flow state.
Yeah.
There are things I can do that will set me up for it, but it's not something that I can just be like, flow state.
Well, yeah. I don't think I can do that either. And like the things that I was describing before, that's setting myself up for it.
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't just happen automatically then.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, even if I set myself up for it, it's pretty unreliable even then. And then also, there's just certain things, like certain tasks that I can't get into a flow state for.
Yeah.
Like, certain stuff at work, like, I'm really good. I love scheduling stuff. I love, like, doing my, like, budget. I love working with numbers and, like, puzzles and logic. I can, like, very much, like, lose myself in that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something, or if I'm doing something, like, creative, I can lose myself in that, like, graphic design, or, like, anything that's, like, I can make into a puzzle.
Yes.
But if it's something like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like, tedious stuff, like
Laundry.
Can't get into a flow state doing laundry.
I think I can. Like,
that's really impressive.
But it like also doesn't work for some other stuff for me. But like when I was doing the listing the clothes on Poshmark stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I just did that whole thing in almost one burst. I took like a 15-minute break.
Yeah.
In the middle, but it was 5 hours straight of just take a picture of clothes, write a thing, put it over there.
Yeah.
Take a picture of clothes, write a thing, and like that is something that I can like get into a flow state over.
See, I can't. I just there's certain tasks that I cannot get myself into a flow state for. And I think instead of like trying to actively get myself into a flow state, I find ways to like get myself to do things despite knowing that I'm not gonna be able to get lost in it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Like-
really hard for me to not work if I'm like not if the river's not flowing.
So it's hard for you to work if the river isn't flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's a whirlpool
Yeah.
of nonsense in my brain.
Yeah, I think that's why me being organized, I don't mean to brag, but literally people tell me, every single person who meets me and knows me says that I'm the most organized person that they've ever met.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like one person lovingly said that my calendar looks like a psycho. Like a psycho's calendar. And I was like, well, thank you. It's very nice of you. And I think that helps me. Like, I literally, at any given day for work and my, like, own personal stuff, I know exactly, like, I have listed on my calendar, like, what I need to do.
Yeah.
So I just go to work and I, like, look at the list and I'm like, okay, first thing, I'll do that. And then it'll be done. And then I, like, go on. And it's, like, not great and I'm not always, like, 100% happy doing it.
Yeah. It's very much like a checklist.
Yeah, it's like a checklist, and like that is enough usually for me to like at least be like, all right, let me do this one thing, you know. Or if I like really don't want to do one task, if it's not something urgent, I can just skip over it and still get other stuff done.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll make lists for making lists for myself is a good way to get myself
Yeah.
to do things, like when something really needs to get done, or if I have like a day that I need to do like a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
I'll make a list for myself.
I feel like for me, every single day is a day where I need to do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I've just like built for myself like kind of a system where I always have a to-do list. Like I don't like sit down. There's no day when I like sit down and I'm like, oh, okay, I have to make my list for today. It's like it's already there. Like
Yeah.
I know pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Like if you were like, what are you going to be doing on October 26th? I might not know like exactly, like I might have like plans that I haven't made yet in the evening or something
Yeah.
like that. But I could probably go and I could look at my calendar and I could be like, oh, well, these are the things I'm going to have to definitely get done at work. These are the things I'm definitely going to have to get done at home.
Yeah.
And I could give you a pretty accurate estimate of what my day is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helpful for me, like having that kind of structure, getting things done, even though I know I'm not going to spend 100% of my time in a flow state.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
kind of a
pretty
cop-out
impressive.
answer. Thank you.
It's pretty impressive, your Google Calendar.
My Google Calendar is something else.
Yeah. I watched you.
I once...
I watched you during quarantine take it apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
And you kind of lost your mind over it. But,
Wait, I did?
I mean, it was just very difficult because it was so involved, you know?
What do you mean? Oh, okay. So, for context, I switched my email address. I use Google Calendar,
Yes.
so it's like tied to my email address, and I wanted everything to be moved. Oh my god!
But there was no
I
easy way to
wanted
do it,
move...
so you kind of have to rebuild it from the ground up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me like a couple days.
Yeah. And
Because
it's
it's
a couple
just so
days of
involved.
just, like, all day. Like,
Yeah, it was a lot. That is the kind of thing that I cannot like. Usually, I like planning, but when it's
Yeah.
something that I've already built and spent literally years like figuring out what I need to do and like what works for me and when to do things, like what kind of schedule
Yeah.
works, like, and then I have to like do it all over.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's very frustrating.
that is very. Oh, that was not fun. I didn't even remember doing that. I think I like blocked that.
Well, sorry to dredge that up. Well,
So that's how to get into a flow state by Colin, and then how to deal with it when you can't get into a flow state by Winter.
yeah. Both good things to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Next question. This is our kind of wild card question, but kind of, sort of tangentially related to mental health. What is your signature recipe
I don't think I have one. You
You-
should answer first.
Okay.
You think that I have one,
Um,
but I think that that's not my signature dish.
At this point in my life, I'm not very experimental with food.
You're making it sound like you're an old man, like, after being alive for as many years as I have.
No, it's just like I have a very simple like catalog of things that I will cook for myself. But like I have some friends who love to cook and they love to make new things and they love to experiment with food. I am not that way. My signature recipe that I will usually make when there is like a dinner or like a potluck or something, I will make some bomb garlic bread.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
some just cheesy garlic bread. It's like super simple to make. I just found the recipe online one time and it was so delicious and so popular that I basically do it. It's become the thing that I do for any event like that.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that eating Colin's garlic bread was like what made me fall in love with him, but I also will not deny the possibility that on some subconscious level, I like was more open to getting close to him because I ate this garlic bread. We had a party that one of our mutual friends did. It was like, do you remember? Because I remember I had your garlic bread.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna
before
ask
we were even like.
when was the first time? I thought
It was like sometime in the spring of.
I thought it was the dinner we had here at the
No,
at the
I've
Floral
had it
House.
before.
But wait. Because I haven't brought it too many places. But I did bring it somewhere.
You didn't bring it to Alyssa's, did you? It like for
Maybe.
that birthday party we were both. I think that
I-
might have been it.
I don't
I'm so sure
don't
that I
remem-
had this garlic bread before we were like even like hanging out.
I don't remember if I brought it there. I don't think I did. But
Well, that's how magical this garlic bread is.
Yeah,
is
it's-
I have
it's pretty-
fabricated a memory of it. Okay.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Other than that, I like to make some dumpling stir fry.
That I totally taught you how to make.
You sure? Yeah.
I totally spiced up your recipe.
You did
Okay.
contribute to that recipe.
Let's go with that.
Um
Spiced it up is what I did.
I'm just making some fried rice, vegetables, and dumplings. And I like to make burgers and pierogies with special sauce.
Sauce.
The sauce, special sauce that I make.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not a very complicated sauce. It is mayonnaise, barbecue sauce, and pickle juice.
If you're interested in this exact recipe, let us
Would it
know.
be on the Patreon? No. It's
exclusive access.
it would be it would be 8 parts mayonnaise, 4 parts barbecue sauce, 1 part pickle juice. That's the golden ratio there, and it's sounds disgusting, but it's ridiculously good on like burgers, on like any sort of potato, like French fries, like
Oh my
pierogies. It's good
quite
on
good.
eggs.
And it's dairy free.
Yeah.
It's not vegan because the mayonnaise has egg in it, but if you got like a vegan mayonnaise,
Yeah.
boom, good to go.
It's real good. But I guess that's pretty much my signature recipe. I'd say the garlic bread.
So I think my signature recipe is there's something that I usually bring to like a dinner. Like if somebody's having a dinner and they're like, oh, bring a dish, I'll
Yeah.
usually just bring what I call chickpea salad, which is usually like a couple cans of chickpeas. I bring this because it's easy to make.
Yeah.
It's a couple cans of chickpeas. Put those bad boys in some olive oil with whatever spices you like. I like to do like paprika, garlic, maybe a little chili powder, and like onion powder, salt, pepper, obviously. And then I dice up a little avocado, put some lemon in there to keep it fresh, some cherry tomatoes, and then I just kind of mix it all up.
It's pretty good.
Put it in like, I like to do like a clear, like big container, so you can see it and it looks really pretty. And it's just really filling and it's like healthy and it's kind of, if you're going to like a big dinner, like sometimes there's not a lot of like fresh
Yeah, it's very
like
fresh
light
and
stuff.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's like fresh and
It's a
light,
good
but also
side dish.
still filling.
It's a good side dish.
Yeah, and that's my go-to for like bringing something.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not too expensive because the chickpeas are so expensive. Like the avocados are a little bit, but like.
I just thought if we ever go to a party together and we bring both the garlic bread and the chickpea salad,
Ooh,
we're gonna be the talk of the town.
And people are gonna just like think that we're super healthy.
Well, I mean, I'll be bringing the garlic bread.
Oh right,
I'm saying
for some reason I was like, oh yeah, garlic, yeah, it's good for you.
No, I'm saying that they're both so delicious that will probably be everyone's favorite, and everybody will love us forever.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered what my signature dish is, and I think that you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. So, it all began in my hometown. There is a bagel place. I think it's called the Bagel Man. Oh my gosh, it's been so I can't remember. I think it's called the Bagel Man. Bagel Man, owned by Eunice. Eunice, love your work. You make great bagels. They do a breakfast sandwich, and for a long time I was a vegetarian, so I didn't eat meat, and I, usually they do the breakfast sandwich with like bacon or sausage or something like that, and I was like, can you do a breakfast sandwich with just egg, cheese, and a hash brown, like a hash brown patty? And they were like, sure. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, it was so good and so delicious. And then I was like, I have to figure out how to stop spending money on these all the time. I was like home for like a winter break or something, and I was just getting them like every day. Yeah. And I was like, this is a drain on my finances.
I love breakfast sandwiches so
They're so
much.
good. And this one specifically, I'd never had a hash brown on a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Just the carb, like, quantity was perfect.
Yeah.
So I started making them, just on my own, like a fried egg, cheese on a hard roll with a hash brown. And then I was like, well, this is, the carb situation is good, but I want to, like, maybe be a little healthier. So I, like, decided to stop putting it on a hard roll. Mm-hmm. And I just did, like, a stack. Yeah. So I started doing egg, cheese, hash brown, egg, cheese, hash brown.
Yeah, stacked up vertically.
Just stacked up vertically like a little lasagna.
Oh, my God.
That you just love more than all of your children combined.
It is so
It's so good. And you can do it however you want. You can like at one point I wasn't eating dairy, so I substituted the cheese for like a little guacamole. Mm-hmm. It's perfect that way. You can do a little sauce, good sauce.
The sauce that I just told you about.
Put a little ketchup.
So delicious on there.
Yep.
You can put salsa on there.
You can put salsa.
You could do whatever kind of cheese you want. You could do single cheese, double cheese. You could do it triple decker.
And the beauty of the sandwich is that you never have to stop building it. Like, you can just keep layering and layering.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just infinite breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
Stacked.
I call it a breakfast lasagna because it's just multiple layers of the same thing.
Yeah, I call it a breakfast sandwich because that's originally what it was designed to be a substitute for. Mm-hmm. You do eat it with a fork, but oh my goodness, it's just so good. And this is like my dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
because I don't know anybody else who makes this.
Yeah, you changed my world by introducing this dish to me because I still often eat this for breakfast.
It's really good, and it's so simple to make. It takes like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's my signature.
For
dish.
sure.
There's a lot of other things I like to make, but that's definitely like my signature.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, definitely.
That's it. That's all our questions.
Yeah, that was our 4 questions for tonight. That's such a cute name. I really like it.
I would feel very comforted if somebody were to just, come through to me on the airwaves telling me that I'm a moonflower. How do you feel? Comforted? Do you feel good?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Like, click, and do other things with our channel.
Whoa. If you are listening on YouTube, you can subscribe. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to come out with...
Or follow us on Spotify.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing this... We're doing it bi-weekly for now. Every other week. I know it's a little slow. I wouldn't like that content schedule if I were in your shoes, but we're both pretty busy, so...
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Like... the first couple episodes are going to be uploaded in bulk, but probably this one and the previous one will be uploaded before the third one comes out. But then it will be bi-weekly from there on out, and then we hope to accumulate a little following of little moonflowers.
Yeah.
You know, just to provide some nice, comforting entertainment.
Yeah.
For little babies who wanna be under the night sky and listen to things.
Yeah, maybe you listen to it before you go to bed. Maybe it's like a little bedtime podcast.
Maybe you listen to it in the morning when you are a bulb.
Oh yeah, because you close.
Yeah.
Because you are.
I want to be a bulb in the morning.
I would love to just. Oh my goodness, just never wake up until night.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I quite like the sunshine, but
well,
I mean, like a bulb, like just wrapped up in like a little blanket or something.
Yeah.
I would still be awake. I'd just be like just there, you know.
One of our friends told us the other day that they are often compared to the Pokemon. Which one is it? It's
Bulbasaur?
No. Is it Bulbasaur? It's not Bulbasaur. It's the little plant one.
Oh, Bidoof.
Bidoof.
Did you see a picture of Bidoof?
I did see a picture of Bidoof, and that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, it's
All
a
your
little
little
like it's a little just
daytime.
flower bud with like a little emoji smiley face basically on it.
If the sun is out, that's what I'm imagining you look like. My dear moonflowers.
Oh my goodness, that's so cute. But it's like a moon version.
Yeah, but it's kind of blue.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also wanted to say, I think we said this previously, but if there's anything that you want to hear us talk about on the show,
yes,
please.
Anything. It can be literally anything.
Yeah. We don't even have to like do this format where we're asking each other questions. We can just talk about things.
Yeah. You could just be like, give us your opinions on this thing.
Uh-huh. Because we like, I think that's the main thing we're looking for right now is just like ideas about things to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can come up with those, or you can come up with those, and then we'll be talking about the things that you wanted to hear. So
yeah,
then it'd be a win-win.
Yeah, a win-win.
Win.
Yeah, because there's two of us and one of you. Yeah. Well, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a good next 12 hours or so. That way it's a good day or a good night, depending.
You're so smart.
Just got all my bases covered there.
You're so smart.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye.